So this is the 2022 AMF Paper 1 question 1. So the first question requires us to complete the square. Alright, so we can write down 2x squared first, minus 8x plus 11. So as they need an a on the outside where x is the single term, so you can factorize out the 2 from the entire bracket so that you get 4x here. We do not extract the constant 11 or 2 factor out from the 11. So the next step, we can now complete the square fully. Make sure that you subtract away the square of this plus 11 here. Now again, for students who are still wondering how we complete the square, we are actually taking the coefficient of this minus 4. And how do we get this is because you are dividing it by 2. Alright, and the minus 4 that's over here is because it is always the subtraction of this 2 that is being squared. Alright, so that's why the process is called completing the square. So once you get this, you must remember to expand this back. You will get 2 times of x minus 2 whole thing squared minus 8 plus 11. So if you simplify, this will get you 8, 9, 10, 11 plus 3. Right, so they did not ask us for the values of A, B, and C, so therefore that would be how you write the final answer, but they wanted you to go on with the coordinates of the stationary point. So to get stationary point, you need to remember about this particular A. Now, as long as the A is greater than 0, then this graph would be a smiley with a minimum point over there. So the working would be to look at the x minus 2, let it be 0, and then you can get x that's equivalent to 2. Now this constant 3 that is at the rear, right, would be for y that is 3. So you don't have to let it be equivalent to any zeros, just copy it directly. You can say that y is 3. So the stationary point is actually a minimum point, and you can give the coordinates as 2, 3 there. Alright, so yeah, you don't have to say that it's a stationary point, or don't have to say it's a minimum point, just stationary will do. Alright, so right now they said that the next part of the question, that y equals to 2x plus 3, is going to intersect the curve at the 2 points A and B. So we have this as the first equation, and this would be the second equation that is over here. So in order to solve for A and B, and they actually wanted you to find the value of k for which this distance AB can be expressed as square root k. So the first step is to just solve this simultaneously. So 1 would be equivalent to 2. So 2x plus 3 would be that 2x squared minus 8x plus 11. You have to make x the subject so we can move every single term here. And before solving it, divide by 2 throughout. And you can factorize this into the 2 terms. You can of course press the calculator for this as well. So x would be 1 or x would be 4. Now if you tag this with A or tag this with B, either way is still fine. Alright, so they want you to find the y coordinates as well. So we have to sub the x of A equals to 1 in. Your y of A would be a 2 plus 3, that gives you a 5. While the coordinate of B would be 2 times of 4, which will give you an 8 there plus 3, which will be 11. Alright, so summarizing the 2 points here, we have this 2 points there. And of course, right now, they want us to get the distance of AB. So remember to utilize the formula properly just by making sure you need to write down x1, y1, x2, y2, follow through this formula properly. It will be x1 minus your x2 whole thing square added to y1 less y2 whole thing square. Right, so sub in the formula with all the values and you will get 1 less 4 whole thing square added with 5 less 11 whole thing square. And this answer would be a 9 added to a 36, which will give you a square root of 45. Now, if you go back to look at the question again, they wanted you to express it as a root k. So therefore, you don't have to rationalize or not rationalize, sorry, to take out any perfect squares from this. So it will be just root k, and this will be your final answer.